Well, the head of the House Intelligence Committee, Devin Nunes, has come out and said, I've seen all the proof from all the different agencies. Of course, the president was under surveillance. Just as he said, they were unlawfully using foreign intelligence gathered on phone calls he was using and his staff was using in the transition team, as they're supposed to do, to politically spy on him, and then claim they had evidence that he was this Russian agent. But there was no evidence there, so Trump demanded it come out and pointed out it was illegal to leak it. And they said, we never spied on you, thinking we have no memory. They're betting everything on that, just like Gruber said with Obamacare. And now we've got 2 days ago, on the one-year anniversary of the Brussels, Belgium attack, we got a bunch of people getting run over and killed and stabbed to death, and members of parliament saying, don't say it's Islamic. It's just crazy. And now we've got 3 million more Islamicist, quote, refugees the UN's trying to force Europe to bring in. They want hundreds of thousands more to be brought in here. We just played the Democratic Party with the Syrian refugees coming in, giving them voter registration cards. There's so much to talk about. The point is there's a lot of special interests who think this country belongs to them. They've overrun it. They've taken control of it. But the good news is the sleeping giant that is America, of every race, color, and creed, we're all Americans. We bleed red blood. We're one race on this planet, are waking up to it, and it's a beautiful thing. Michael Moore came out again yesterday and said we need a civil emergency and to overthrow President Trump. You see it all over the news. Kill him. Have martial law. Rosie O'Donnell. You have the former deputy head of the Defense Department in the news, going to the Pentagon, trying to shop the idea of the military overthrowing the president. That's so illegal, folks, that it makes my head spin. And it's a bunch of foreign interest. And the communist Chinese coming in to help censor Facebook. You cannot make this up. So I just talked to some military guys I know who happen to know Chris Tonto Peranto, of course, one of the big heroes and survivors of what happened in Benghazi. And, of course, lionized properly so in the new film 13 Hours. It's a big hit and so amazing. To ask, what do you think we should do? Well, say we support the president and talk about if they're calling for military operations against the president. We're not calling for anything offensive, but we should start a discussion about the left thinking and Soros doubling the amount of money to these groups to kill cops and burn down cities. Yeah. They're planning something. So, Chris, we're going to skip this break so you have more time. Thank you for joining us and coming on. Sure. Obviously, everything you've done. Chris, TontoPeranto.com. I've kind of set the table the last 4 minutes. Yeah. Where are we going with this?
I honestly, I think right now it's just a lot of lib talk. It'd be really ridiculous at this point for them to try to start there's some civil war going on. I mean, you've got guys like myself. You've got plenty of contractors out there that are back home now. Plenty of people like myself that are patriots that aren't going to stand aside and let some coup, if you want to call it that, take over. And also just the strength in numbers. And I'll give it to you, Libs. You want to come out? You better be 100 of you against one of me, because that's what it's going to take. And there are a lot of me's out there. So I don't think it's realistic. I think, again, it's a lot of threats, and the Libs do that. They are a lot of talk, but when action comes and it comes to actually picking up a gun and doing something, I think if they were more inclined to protect this country, you probably see more of them joining the military, joining the law enforcement, and again, so I see it as a lot of BS, a lot of just a tough talk at this point in time. But if it comes to this, not going to be tough talk. Believe me, people like myself will stand up and we'll be coming right back at you. So I just warn them: don't just stop that BS and put a cork in it right now before it really ends up getting to something that they really don't want to get into.
Well, Chris, that's exactly why, as this rhetoric heated up, I wanted to get you on, because you're somebody with just a few other guys. Of course, some of them died, unfortunately. Yes, took on hundreds and hundreds of people in 2 different, major, battle scenes under 13 hours of an admitted stand down. You did just have the physical courage, and one of the most, amazing Alamos where some people actually made it out, or a 300 where a few people actually made it. So, I mean, it's beyond that. You actually survived at a 300 type, scenario, but where it was just 6 against 300 or 500. But looking at this, that's why I wanted to get you to talk about this as an expert on it, because they seem confident. And I agree it's a lot of talk, but they're really trying to organize it. And I understand Trump's resistance to standing up to this, because it'll make him look like a fascist. But when they're openly calling for his death everywhere, and my death and everybody else, and it's just horrible. At a certain point, it becomes dereliction of duty if somebody doesn't get indicted, if somebody doesn't get in trouble. When Bow Wow, says, I want to kidnap and rape and enslave the first lady, or when, his uncle comes out, Snoop Dogg, and says, I want to kill Trump, puts a music video out. We know he's a coward, won't do it, but he's trying to activate other mentally ill people. So that's why I'm so concerned.
That's true, and you have a good point there. And in the past, if you did that, then the Secret Service be knocking at your door, and possibly you'd be going to prison. I think that needs to happen. I think it needs to return. There does need to be an example set, whether it be Snoop Dogg or somebody else out there, where you're going to say you're going to kill the president. That's a threat. That is a terroristic threat at this point. And the Secret Service, FBI, local law enforcement, somebody needs to be knocking on the doors and pulling these guys in handcuffs. And honestly, if it is a star, and I hate to use the word Hollywood star, but if that's what you want to call yourselves as stars, you know, TMZ needs to be there too to make an example out of you. An example needs to be made, and I don't have a problem if Trump decided to do that, and he shouldn't be called a fascist. That's the law. You don't threaten to kill the president of the United States. You don't do that. In the past, you've never done it. If you do it, there are repercussions to it. And I think he does at this point in time, or somebody within the Jeff Sessions, somebody within the DOJ needs to take this upon themselves and go ahead and do the right thing and arrest somebody, make an example out of somebody, and make it a public example. And you know, if we'll see what happens, but you can't keep letting it go. You're correct. You've got to lance that blister eventually. If not, it's going to get infected. You got to do it, and if you don't, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So I do agree. I do agree at this point with the threats to the president. But again, do I think that they're going to come out and actually start an all-out war, a civil war in the United States of America? They'd be well earned to not do that. Again,
but they've shown. I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying about the battle space. We have the right. We're Americans. 99% of the patriots are, you know, obviously with the president. He's executing like no president I've ever seen on his promises. It's almost unbelievable. It's so good. And so it'd be one thing if he was like selling us out to foreign powers or something. And that brings us to the next point. What do you make of now Nunes coming out and saying, no, they were surveilling him basically illegally. The surveillance was legal because it was overseas, but they were using it domestically, the Democratic Party, during the transition. And then this claim that he's a Russian agent securing our borders, building up our military, turning our coal back on that actually decimates the Russian gas exports. I mean, really, if you look at what Trump's doing, he's dominating.
He is. He's doing. I love how you said it. He's doing exactly what he said. There's no president, I think, that's come in the last, I know in the last 8 years for sure, but the last, 12, 16 years.
Reagan was great, but he didn't deliver it took him 3 years to deliver a recovery. Trump's done it in 50 days.
Yes, it's been outstanding. And I have respect for that. Whether I agree with the policies or not, he's doing what he said he was going to do. And that's fantastic. As far as Nunes, I know Congressman Nunes. Congressman Nunes is actually a friend. Congressman Nunes has always said what he meant. He's always been honest with everything that he's had to do with myself and in
he just comes off as a lot of courage, very honorable. He's the only guy to admit the truth when they all know the truth.
And so if he's saying it, I'll give it 99.9% that thing is going on. And as far as them doing it legally and then doing what it is, they're doing something illegally but pulling illegal things off of it. That's typical CIA at the moment. Pompeo needs to clean house there. They need to come in and see what was actually going on. There needs to be heads to roll at the agency, because what they were doing, they were getting information about Trump, and it was in my opinion, that's illegal. You don't do that. Whether it's with you're doing an illegal action, going for foreign powers, but you're masking an illegal action by doing that. Well, that's illegal, isn't it? Isn't it? Or does it? It's still illegal. So, my opinion is again, Pompeo needs to get in there and take care of the agency and find out what was going on, and see if there is actual basis to get somebody arrested, get some charges against somebody within the intelligence community. And Congressman Nunes, I think, will pursue that. I really do. He's a pit bull, and he will continue to pursue until he's run out of options. He did that with us as best he could when he was under Mike Rogers on that House Intel subcommittee, and I thought he did a fantastic job.
And now he's the head of the committee.
Exactly. So if that says anything about how honest this man is and his integrity. So I leave it in Congressman Nunes' hands. He's the subject matter expert when it comes to this, and I think he can continue to pursue it, and he will come to a good resolution if people within the Trump administration, Sessions and others, will back him. He has a good attorney general that can help him out, where in our case, we didn't have a good attorney general twice. We had Eric Holder, and then Loretta Lynch, of course, weren't going to back us at all. So, but I think he has the opportunity here to come in and set examples so it doesn't happen again.
Chris Paranto, known as Tonto, not going to go over his bio. Most people know who he is. There's a lot of secret wars that have gone on where some similar things happen. But one of the most famous, whether it was secret or public, firefights where you guys were completely overrun. I know a lot of guys, some of the guys didn't make it back. So you don't want to say you were the, one of the top guys in this, but they all signaled the fact that you were, one of the guys that was the most effective in that hellish, situation that took place. And you don't want us to plug this, but I'm going to do it. You've got the Ranger Way new book being released in May. Promise you'll come back for that. Also, you have the new firearm training DVD. That's something I want to watch. Is that available at ChrisTantoParanto.com?
Yeah, it is. All this and this stuff I hate doing. I'll be honest, Alex, I can't stand this.
Doesn't matter, though. If we don't support ourselves, we're not going to have a voice. People should get all this. We have to build our own economy.
And I appreciate that. But yes, you can get it all there. I'm back in the training area, back with firearms and stuff I enjoy doing.
But we all need this. You obviously know what you're doing, surviving one of the most totally overrun operations ever.
Yes, sir. I'm sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And I was surrounded by a great freaking team. I had 2 Navy SEALs and 3 Marines with me too. And the bottom line is you never gave up.
But the survivors all contributed, and they say they're all heroes. They say though that you really, for the whole 9 yards, really did you're the hero of the movie. Why is that?
I think it's because I probably have the biggest personality. I'm the biggest smartass. How about that? People tend to gravitate towards the guy that's outspoken, and that's me. And also, I had no problem. If I was going to die that night, I was going to die. I think if anybody that gets out there and is worried about dying in the line of fire, then they probably need to get out of the line of fire. You need to get out there to sacrifice yourself, selfless service, give of yourself, kind of like we're doing. You put yourself on the forefront. I'm sure you get threats daily because of what you do, but that is important. You need to be able to say, hey.
Don't you get stronger, though? I've had more than threats. They've run all sorts of operations against us like a movie, but I actually get stronger when it happens. It's really weird. The worse it gets, the better I get.
That's good. That means that you have that never quit mentality that you're going to win any battle, and that's what you needed. And I was lucky to have a father that raised me that way, and lucky to be at a Ranger battalion with the 75th, 2nd Battalion that teaches you that, and then to be in there that night with a great team that I knew was not going to quit on me, so I was going to quit on them. It just all comes back to teamwork, and it comes back to never giving up.
So there's a synergy.
That's exactly what it is. And use that big words. I don't know those big words.
Oh, yeah, right. But no, it's like the interconnectedness. Because you all amplify each other.
Exactly. No, that's exactly
It's a spirit, isn't it?
If it comes back to having that faith, and its spirit is the perfect word for you atheists out there. Guess what? There are no atheists in foxholes. You guys out there is something that better and bigger than you that you need to rely on.
Spirit is the spiritual Wi-Fi. And then it's what are you tuning into? It's real. And people that don't know it, they don't. I mean, how synced do you get with guys in an 8-hour firefight like that?
You get to but the blessing that night more than anything was that we could answer each other's questions before it even happened. It just blessed to have those 30 days that we were just there together is all. Myself and Boone, though, I'm very blessed to have him there. Him and I had been working together for 10 years. So how lucky is that to have that one of my best friends up there on the rooftop with me, basically slaying folks all night that were trying to get up on our compound. Again, sometimes it's better to be lucky and good, but sometimes faith is there and God takes care of you.
But Providence had a hand on that night.
Definitely did.
So that some of you would make it out to tell the truth.
Definitely, and some of us would sacrifice themselves. Roan and Bub gave the ultimate sacrifice, and they are the heroes. I'm no hero. The guys that survived are no heroes. Those two are the heroes because they gave everything so we could come home.
Well, if they were here today, though, they'd say everybody was together, and you're still alive through everybody right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's why we're here and able to continue to talk and continue to take on the. And I love how you say Islamists and liberalists. I love how you put that "is" at the end because I have served with Muslim in Kandahar, in Kabul, that have actually been more patriotic than some of these liberalists here in the United States.
Exactly. We're not attacking Muslims in general, but the radical form that the left is allied with and pushing. Yeah. Why the hell would the leftist want to join with the worst Wahhabists out there that are bullying Muslims all over the world?
You saw it right there with your ad before I came on. It's all about elections. It's all about power. Who's got
the Democrats, control. For those that just joined us, handing out publicly in their own video to the Muslims coming in from Syria, giving them voter registration cards, telling them to illegally vote. I mean, the arrogance.
It's shameful. If doing what they were doing would be great if they didn't throw in those voter cards. Here's a voter registration card
Yeah,
right
give them
there.
their baskets. Don't then make it illegal.
You know, it's sad that there are still people out there that don't see it that way.
Well, Tonto, in the 6-7 minutes we've got left, I can't wait till your book comes out. Folks should get the firearm training DVD because I'm having to get back into firearms myself. I used to be half decent, but I'm having to get back into it because half the time I can't put this out of a barn anymore, you know, when it's 1,000 yards away. But, I mean, all this stuff's going on here, and there's so much to cover. Just what is front and center in your heart, in your mind? I mean, I'm not saying the vets, when I ask vets to speak up for Trump, it's not that they haven't done more than anybody. We admire them. We support them. This is the battle for the real homeland politically. And I know we can say, oh, the leftists are all talk saying kill Trump, do all this, but they're so crazy. You know, even a lobotomized pig sometimes can, get something done. And they're just trying to activate all these crazies, and all this stuff's happening. So just in the last 5 minutes, what else is on your heart, on your mind as you talk to folks?
Well, speaking around, I just speak around the country. Law enforcement needs to be supported more. I think, and I would love to see Trump add more into the law enforcement community, add more into just local and state police, because really that is his protection. If it's going to come down to where people are going to actually be out for his life on U.S. soil, it's the LEOs that are going to be standing up in front of him, really not anybody else. Like I said, guys like myself will pull a gun when it finally is the worst case scenario, which I hope it never comes to. So I hope he continues to do that. And I actually would like to see more money go into the law enforcement. Those guys are the heroes right now because they're the ones that have to bite their tongue and have the patience to deal with these crazies they're seeing on the streets, these leftists are seeing on the streets. And then you're right.
Yeah, what do you make of the illegal, you're sitting there like raping the 2-year-old and the left media covers it up?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I don't care whether it's a citizen or non-citizen, report what's happening. Looking at the left, though, Soros's doubling his destabilization money. He's a Nazi collaborator since he was 14. He's overthrown all these countries. He admittedly is a destabilizer. I get we're a free open society, but if I did 1/10 of what he did, and I don't want to, by the way, I would be arrested so fast. I just don't get why is he allowed to do all this?
That's a good question. And that's a good question where I wish Donald Trump would come on TV and you would ask President Trump that. Because this man is an insider. He is somebody that would be considered I would consider a terrorist in another country if I was there. He would be.
He funded the whole Arab Spring.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a good question, and maybe when I'm sitting around and I'm very lucky to have good. To friends up on the Hill. I am very lucky to have some good friends. Maybe ask them. That is a dang good question, Alex. I don't know. But he does. He's done things that probably need to. Well, there's no probably. That
we need George Soros hearings.
And he needs to be under investigation for, bottom line, is terroristic activities in the United States of America. Hey, and if they have a problem with anybody going to get him, send me. Hey, I'm right here. I'll go put handcuffs on him and bring him to you. You just let me know. Give me the word if people are worried about saving face or threats against their lives. That's what we're here for. We're here to protect the United States. And like I said, I'll take a couple buddies and we'll go grab him and bring him into President Trump. Just give us the word. But it needs to happen. It does need to happen. And I am in total agreement with you. You got to cut the head off of a snake and watch it die. And I think right now that's the head right there is George Soros.
Wow. Chris Tantoparonto, ChrisTantoparonto.com. Anybody can just Google his name. Everybody knows who he is. I'm just glad that we're so restrained and the veterans are so restrained.
They're much.
And so we're not calling for some type of, we're just saying they're calling for killing everybody. They're calling for overthrow. We should have a discussion about what happens. Because I've seen Dan Bongino, great guy with the Secret Service, wouldn't go along with Obama, resigned. He's said, look, a 40-man team, the security isn't good at the White House. A 40-man team could get in there. And he says, I'm not giving up security issues. The leftists, the Islamists know that. Quite frankly, I know the military's told Trump he really should either not be at the White House or shut down a few roads around it or do something. As a security expert who's been under this type of attack in a diplomatic compound that's not adequately defended, what's your 2-minute analysis on that, sir?
Well, you have to listen to your experts there, and if the Secret Service are the experts, they know how to handle the security around the White House. If as a leader you're not willing to listen to your security experts, you're going to fail, and that took place that night in Benghazi, Libya. Our leadership was not willing to listen to the experts on the ground, which were us, which cost lives, which basically put us in a dogfight for the 13 hours. So, you have people there that know how to do security at the White House. Utilize them. Don't put your political correctness in front of those security issues. Don't put any media issues in front of that as well. Listen to those guys. They know how to protect you. They want to save your life. They want to make sure that you get home safely. And if they're telling you to do it, then you know what? You probably should do it, or it's going to come back and bite you down the road. And I hope it doesn't, but I'm just telling you from experience, Alex. So President Trump and staff, listen to your security experts you have on there in the Hill. They're telling you the truth because they want you to live, and they want you to live another day and do your job another day. So don't take their words don't just take it at face value. They do know what they're talking about.
Well, sure, exactly. I mean, I get saying the left's a joke, as they are, but they've got enough money and organization that even a blind hog can find acorns occasionally. Broken clocks are right twice a day. We should just be having a debate about this because they're saying they want to kill everybody and take over. So I'm glad we've had this discussion because I just see so much intense craziness out there. And then the economy's up. Good things are happening. The left's in the news saying they want to implode the economy to stop Trump. They're economic terrorists now. I just don't know why they're so screwed up. So thank you so much, Chris. 20-second closing comment.
Hey, just thank you again. God bless you, all you patriots out there that are listening, all you veterans. Thank you for your service. Thank you for supporting us, and keep watching InfoWars. This guy's a good man, Alex Jones. Jones, I got your back, brother. Whenever you need me, you let me know.
Thank you. Wow, Chris, thank you. It's just great to know that you're out there, and God bless you. Thank you. We'll be back with the former technical director of the NSA to expose what's really going on against Trump. I'm Alex Jones. This is the InfoWar. Amazing interview. Thank you. Thank you, Tonto. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live, available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You gonna sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you gonna be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.